Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a quick word from one of our sponsors, Apax Lab. Elevate your coffee experience with Apax Lab mineral concentrates. Apax Lab's precision-engineered formulas, including tonic, jam, and lilac, are designed to enhance the coffee's natural flavors. It's not going to change it, it's just going to enhance it. It's going to bring out the vibrant acidity, the rich sweetness, or if you use lilac, it might bring out those delicate floral notes that you've been looking for. Trusted by world-class cafes and even barista champions, Apax Lab helps you unlock your coffee's full potential. Discover more at apaxlab.com. Wait, where was that again, Sonam?
The internet.
Oh, okay. Thought he was going to say the website. Thanks. Today's episode is brought to you by our amazing sponsors at Eco Barista. The reason I sound like this is because they got massages at our stand at Mice, and so I'm getting a massage while recording this message for you. They're the best sponsor of the pod that we could have had. They have the best eco products. This probably sounds really pornographic, but it's not. I'm just getting a massage. They have the best eco-friendly coffee products. They got coffee bags that you can design yourself. They got cups. They got iced coffee cups. They got everything you need. So make sure to support them because they support us. Head to ecobarista.com.au and get 15% off your first purchase when you sign up. Oh, mama, that's good. Southeast Asian coffee, oh yeah. Oh yeah, but now we're going to talk about Japanese coffee and other representations from around the globe that are going to be at Coffee Weekend. Hi, welcome to Coffee Break. We've got Kantaro joining us today. Thank you for joining us from Coffee Weekend, the biggest filter tasting coffee festival in Melbourne. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But first off, how are you doing, man?
Very good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And of course, sorry, I didn't even say, I'm Rowan Cook.
And I'm Ben Bicknell.
And it's Coffee Break.
It's a coffee break, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a great intro
Just
for Coffee
coffee
break. It's just Coffee Break. Starting that.
I mean, do you want to give a chat about what Coffee Break is now?
Coffee Break, yeah, I know. As we've got Ben in, we've been making some changes. We've been making some adjustments. I think we want our main episodes to really be this kind of forever living like piece of information that people can take and come back to at any point that they want. And then Coffee Break is going to be where we can kind of just shoot the breeze, talk about coffee, talk about the news, what's been happening, recent events. And it's kind of the current state of coffee, I think.
The weekly briefing.
The weekly briefing, exactly, where you can get all your coffee news.
And the upcoming events.
The
hottest events that are known in the coffee world.
So that's going to kick us off into some coffee news. A bus with 50 people has been seen off the... No, I don't know. I just felt like I should go into
that was going.
A news reading segment there.
On its way to the Coffee Weekend.
On the way to its Coffee Weekend. No, huge news. Australian Barista Championship. Jack Simpson. The three-peat. He's done it.
And did it again. It was an amazing performance, as he has shown he can do every time. And in fact, it was this last weekend. It was the Australian Barista Championships. It was the finals for 2025. So the selection for our national champion in a rather fresh warehouse environment in wintry Melbourne. And we actually had the top 6 competitors going at it again from the same 6 who were competing last year. So it was a repeat of that group, and every one of them turned up with an incredible performance. It was so smooth, so heartfelt.
Australia would have to have some of the best representation in this competition in the world. So like just this national competition would be some high, like a lot of these people could be representing us on the world stage and all do an amazing job.
Yeah,
so
the standard's incredibly high. And they're all kind of very experienced kind of folks who are coming up there with really unique stories. And you know, the competitions in general are a place people are pushing the boundaries. It's not necessarily the everyday cafe life
What do you mean? I've seen plenty of cafes jamming wave machines into their espressos.
It's just like, wait a moment, sir, your latte with 3 sugars, it's just about coming up. I just got to wave that.
Yeah, just got to wave that. So Jack will be representing us at the Worlds.
Yes.
You'll be judging, but not judging him.
Not judging Jack, yes.
I mean, you're always judging him, privately. But
just passing judgment, rather than judging.
So that's just so because there'll be favoritism. Is that like no Australian judge?
They basically, so for the World Barista Championships, they just make a flat line rule that if you are from the country of a competitor, you cannot judge them, just to keep it all clear and clean. So
what happens behind the curtains? Do you go and get to, at a later stage, try Jack's coffees and what he's doing? Or
no, it's actually very kind of cut and dry. If you are judging, they're very careful of making sure that there's just no confusion. There's no chance of crossover there. So don't see the judges who are judging him, or certainly not in any of the debrief or the deliberation rooms. Don't see any of the score sheets, of course. And it's funny with the competitions, you see, I don't know if you've watched, but a runner will take the cups of coffee off the judges' table after they've sampled them and literally pour them into a bucket. And so no one gets to taste those same coffees that the judges taste, just to have that purity of evaluation.
Ooh, very pure. Now, in other coffee news, so we've gone from world-class coffee and now we're going to go to low-class coffee. Nestle Gold is currently the fastest growing coffee brand in the market with over 10% growth. It's crazy. It's still, in my mind, I'd think of instant coffee a bit more like old world kind of thing, but it's still growing. It's still the fastest. I guess there's the affordability of it. There's the convenience of it. But I don't know. What do you think of Nescafe Gold? Do you dive into a little, any instant coffee there, Kantaro?
I haven't in a while, but I'm intrigued. Maybe it's tasting better now.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
But what's the difference between, what's the gold differentiator? Do we know what that difference is to, is there a Nescafe Silver?
I don't know. I have no idea what the difference is there. I have had it before, but I don't know what the actual difference that they're pulling on there is. But it's kind of interesting. I try to look at instant coffee because it's accounting for 60% of home brewing is instant coffee. And I'm like, there's no stepping stone really here into specialty coffee. It's just a generic coffee flavor. And it's convenient and people want it. But I'm like, we've looked at different instant coffees. There are specialty coffees out there. Yeah. Have you had any that are actually good?
Yeah, definitely. I've had quite a few over the years. There's been some that have come out of the US as well as kind of locally, and crew over in New Zealand who are doing some really good quality stuff. You've had a chat with them before.
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of challenges in getting what we love about specialty coffee into an instant format, like capturing the aromatics and the acidity in particular is really hard to kind of get coming out of that process. But I think you can get really tasty stuff there. I think unfortunately, the cost focus for a lot of people at home with instant means that it just can't have the higher quality coffee in it. But you know what? That's okay. I don't think we always need to step everyone from one market to the next, Instant coffee provides a home for a whole heap of coffee around the world that, people grow and farm, and every coffee needs a home.
Oh, there. Look at you, just covering off old bases. What a gentleman. I will say, though,
it's true.
Like I said, on occasion, I'll dabble in that instant coffee when you have to. There's a time and a place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that when you're in need, a lot of things are allowable. So, yeah, I think traveling and being able to kind of grab a tasty coffee or a coffee-like beverage is really great. And I know traveling, and we'll probably talk a little bit more, but traveling in Japan, obviously the joys of train station hot coffees out of a vending machine is, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily there for the specialty coffee enjoyment, but they are just a satisfying, sugary, sweet little drink.
If we're talking about coffee convenience, what would be in that convenience world of instant coffee, but like top quality stuff? Because I know there are like those little pour over bag things, like single use pour over bags that you can buy. Like, if you have any really great ones, there are like the little frozen blocks,
the capsules. Yeah. Have you tried some of these, Kantaro?
Not the capsules, but the parachutes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they've been around in Japan for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you make any of them?
No.
No. Have you brewed with them a lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think they're a really good kind of stepping stone between carrying around a whole hand grinder and an AeroPress on an airplane and then having something that's pre-ground, maybe not quite as good a quality as you could get fresh, but yeah, still pretty handy.
I go for a lot of bike riding. So I'll take on the bike with a little stovetop.
Oh, nice.
Then brew coffee in the park.
Yeah. Yep.
How quaint and beautiful is
It
that?
is. That's
What a
like-
vision to see.
I think we need an AI picture of this.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah. Liam,
remember
pull it
that
up on
AI
screen.
one.
You're on
now.
it.
Hold on, Kantaro.
Yeah, let's
send you
just go
a photo.
take a picture of us doing it.
I'll send you my photo.
You know what? I'm envisioning a It's Just Coffee calendar series
Oh.
of the AI moments throughout the year.
And
I
just all of
definitely
Kantaro.
Kantaro riding a bike.
Next story, Luckin Coffee. China's biggest coffee shop is opening up its doors in the US and starting off in New York. Now, Luckin Coffee has grown to double the size of Starbucks in China, which is huge. And they're priding themselves on this price war, extremely cheap coffees and affordable, and also extreme convenience. Goodbye all the days of talking to your barista and finding out how their day was. This is you open an app, send a message, it's there when you walk in and you get out of there. So I guess the question I have for you guys is, do you think that this will be successful and there's a market for it in the US?
It's a good question. I think it's pretty interesting because the specialty coffee consumer in the US, which may or may not be the exact target audience of Luckin, but they are so influenced. The whole coffee drinking culture in the US is so influenced by the presence of Starbucks. And Starbucks' philosophy that took off so strongly was that of the third place, right? Outside of coffee, outside of home and work, where can we gather? And so much of that was about service, connection with your local barista, having a chat, being able to hang out in comfy couches and listen to cool, like elevated jazz music there. You know,
Back in the days, do they still sell CDs at the front counter?
yeah, and probably Freons, right? Freons were a thing of the early second wave. But so that is in direct contrast, I think, to what Luckin is offering. You know, it's very digitized, it's order through apps, very fast, quick service, but not really much interaction, not much kind of personal connection there. So it'll be really interesting to see, do people want that or are they interested by the novelty? And, you know, the big thing that I think Luckin is going to be bringing is, especially for Generation Z, or Z, I don't know. They're opening in the US, so it's Z.
Also just say
right?
Gen.
The new gens, is the interest in creative, fun beverages, right? And so we kind of talk about coffee style or coffee-like beverages. You know, the old mocha frappuccinos with big whipped cream. You're not really tasting a huge amount of coffee action in there. But I think that Luckin have got this huge array of fun, colourful, creative drinks that I think could really engage.
I think even beyond that, I think if it comes down to a price and a number, if that price is going to be lower and the convenience is higher, I think there's just always going to be a market for that. Like if they can undercut Starbucks at their price point, which I'm not sure if we're going to see that, but that feels like the tack they've kind of taken in the past, then I think there's a lot of room for success there. I mean, you saw it with Amazon. It's like, it's cheap and it's delivered to you the next day. It's like, it's undeniable. People are just going to do it. People even will hate Amazon, but they're like, but I still get it the next day. So I guess click, I'll press that button.
Yeah.
And if Nestle is doing 10% more, everyone's wanting the convenience and the price. So
There you go. That's so true. The instant coffee is the instant marker that people want, cheap and convenient.
You know, maybe that's the stepping stone you were talking about, is not from Nestle Instant to Specialty Instant, but from Nestle Instant to a Luckin in-store beverage. And maybe that's still the stepping stone into kind of people's journey into a beautiful pour-over filter, you know, a V60 that's going to be at the coffee weekend.
Now, I mean, what a segue, but I'm going to ruin your segue by just saying. So you obviously love some beautiful, well-crafted coffees and that, but be honest with the people here. When you're being a cheeky little boy, when you want to get something a little naughty, is there any kind of more elaborate drink that you'd kind of go for? I'm thinking like frappuccinos, mochas. Is there anything that like you indulge in?
Oh, I have coffee days and I have my tea days.
Okay.
So yeah, I like my blend teas.
Well, that's still very beautiful and elegant and not embarrassing.
Damn
That's,
it.
you know,
Come on, we want the
I'm
dirt.
trying to throw you under the bus here. Come on.
Yeah.
Or is it a coffee pairing? Do you like
He's better
it?
than us. That's fine.
Yeah.
He's better than us.
Coffee ice cream.
Coffee ice
there
cream.
you
Gelato.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Are we talking affogato style here, or are we talking actually coffee flavored ice cream?
Actually, coffee flavored ice cream.
Yes. Okay. That's good. We'll take that. We'll take that.
Now, we've got you here because we've got the biggest filter tasting coffee festival in Melbourne coming, the coffee weekend that you've organised and put together. I mean, bravo on that.
Nice
Feels
work.
like
Nice work.
a lot of work. It's going to be in Melbourne on Saturday, the 5th of July to the 6th at the Meat Market in North Melbourne. There's also some other events happening either side of that. Can you just tell us a bit more about what people are going to expect at the event?
Yeah, so the weekend is really focusing on filter coffee. It's a filter tasting festival, essentially. Everyone will get 9 tokens, come in. There'll be 35 different roasters, and you'll go around to have small 30 to 40 ml tasters of all the coffees, and there'll be 100 plus. I think nearly 200 coffees to taste.
Have you calculated how many total mils that is for one person? 30 mil tasters, 100. Hang on, we can do the numbers of that. That's 3 liters of coffee. Sounds pretty good weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a genius kind of thing because one of the things coming out of MICE when I was there, I was like, I got in to set up at 8:30 a.m. And before the show had even started, every roaster that I'd walk past would throw an espresso at me or a double and I'd have it. By the time it was 9 o'clock, I'm like, I'm done for the day. I can't drink any more coffee.
Yeah.
My heart's going. Like, I love this idea that you can just get this like little taster and representation of these different roasters. I think it's such a smart way of doing it and kind of extends that day. So people will be working in these sessions. Is that kind of how it works? You book in that session?
Yes. So the event is 10 till 6, but it will be split up into 3 sessions, and everyone will have 2.5 hours to go around all the booths to try as many, maybe not 100, as many as
Pace
they
yourself.
wish. Yes.
So the festival's kind of representing a lot of Japanese roasters, but now also like there's more representation from around the world as well. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah. So the festival, we brought this to life because we wanted to introduce new coffee to the Melbourne coffee scene. And so, but we also wanted to feature one specific region every year. And this year it's going to be Japan. We'll have 26 from Japan, but also you'll see Czech, China, Singapore, and some friends from Sydney.
Oh, Sydney. I haven't heard of that. Where's that based?
Faraway
Is that-
land. It's a faraway, distant land.
And one of the things that's really cool about this, you'd think at a lot of festivals that would be in Australia representing Japanese coffee and coffees from around the world, that you'd just be flying some bags of coffee over. But you actually have the roasters are coming out to the
have the
festival,
roasters.
right? So they'll be prepping the coffee, serving it to you. So you're getting like the full experience as if you were in Japan almost. Pretty close, minus all the much better aesthetics and everything.
Yep.
You get to meet the roaster, maybe talk to them if you can speak Japanese or they can speak English.
Yeah.
But we'll have translators there too.
That's really cool.
That's so cool. Whip out the Google Translate app, have the conversation back and forward.
Yeah.
I've done that many a time.
Well, I think it's such a unique opportunity, right? Like some people get to travel and taste coffee in lots of different regions, and other people, you can't get everywhere. But to have that insight into not only the coffee beans and I guess the roasters, but a bit of the service experience, the story behind it, that's pretty unique.
And because they don't just come from central Tokyo, they come from all over Japan. Even if you had a 2-week trip in Japan, you wouldn't be able to taste all these coffees. So,
Not to mention everywhere outside of Japan
Exactly,
as well.
yes.
There's going to be a lot of places. That's very cool.
Is there anything, what are some of the roasters you are coming out that you're excited by? Is there any like offering or particular roaster that's people can't miss?
I have a huge bias towards Red Poison.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Kanagawa from Japan, and they do these lovely blends, very fruit forward.
Oh, you're a fruity kind of guy in your
I am.
coffee. Love a little fruit bomb.
Yes.
Now, what are we talking fruit here? Are we talking about because of the coffee representation, or is it the processing methods? A bit of both?
it's a bit of both.
Okay.
Process and yes.
And is that kind of an unusual approach for a Japanese roaster to take in the sense of like a lot of consumers more orientated towards cleaner, washed, higher acid coffees, or is the fruity kind of floral style, heavier bodied becoming more and more popular?
I think it's going to be a mix of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So Red Poison, definitely keep an eye out for them. And who else should we be keeping our eyes on?
I know that Barista Map is very excited to come back. Come back meaning Samurai Shin is ex-Senali alumni.
Mhm.
And he'll be back with his brand. And
So he moved to Japan, started up, and he's come back.
I think we're actually going to get him on the pod. Is that
Yeah.
right? We're going to be able
Yep.
to have a chat to him. And we've got some funny stories there because he actually learnt everything he knows from a little coffee producer over here, a
Hey
little
there.
podcast producer, Liam. Or Liam
Yes.
taught him everything that he shouldn't do with coffee. And then he went on and
And
became the
perfected
master that he is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's such an amazing story because he came, worked at St. Ali, learnt, was part of Melbourne's coffee scene, has gone back and has kind of evolved it and taken it further and keeps pushing it. So I'm really excited to talk to him on the pod when we get him on. But outside of the event, now you're mentioning there are things either side that people can partake in?
yes. So the main event is the weekend, 5th and the 6th. But before and after, we have a lot of events, bar takeovers, cuppings, and workshops with local coffee shops.
Oh, and is that just all on the website so people can find out where those are? Or
Yep. It will be called the Good Coffee Week.
Yep.
And it will be on the Coffee Weekend website.
Oh, there you go. Because I was about to say your name is a lie. I was about to put you out. I was
What?
the coffee weekend. Oh, and then we've got all these events during the week. That's the coffee week.
It's the Good Coffee
Good
Week
Coffee
by the Coffee Weekend.
Yeah, so that
okay?
makes sense now.
Yeah.
Now I'm into it, but I needed to get that clarification so I could understand.
It's going to be okay, Ron. It's going to be okay.
You really,
Trying to cause drama wherever I can.
you really said that. Like, don't let my vegetables touch on the plate. Energy,
And so bar takeover. So there's just going to be Melbourne coffee shops that are going to be hosting different roasters. Is that how it works?
Yes. So lots of local coffee shops, Market Lane, St. Ali, and other places having lots of cupping. So if you can't make it on the weekend, you can have your coffee there.
You can hunt them down, find out where they're going to be hosting, and have a
That's-
different experience.
That's also a beautiful thing where this is a man that understands his audience, right? Because the number one thing that was so annoying when I worked in hospitality is all the events for hospitality people would be on the weekend, which guess what is when I'm working at the cafe and can't go. So this is great representation that those that might have that midweek day off or whatever it is can get out and still experience some of these great coffees. Well, I tell you what, I'm bloody excited to go and I'm really excited that I get to taste so many different coffees that I otherwise wouldn't. As you said, even if I traveled to Japan, I wouldn't be able to taste all of these coffees. So it's such an amazing idea. I think this festival is going to go nowhere but up. Where can everyone find out how to participate, get tickets, get their tokens?
On our website, but on socials, there'll be a link.
Yeah. What's
Yes.
your socials? Give us that at.
Coffeeweekend.melb.
There you go, Coffee Weekend up Melb. Search it on Google. Make sure to get a ticket, get down, and I was going to say support these guys. Don't support them. Just do it because you want to taste good coffee.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting weekend. Lots of coffee to get through. 3 litres, in fact.
Is there anything else we have to add for this coffee break, Liam?
I mean, if you want to pre-ramble who's coming next.
Actually, we got a little spicy meatball coming.
Be a fun chat.
Kantaro, do you know the brand Fellow?
I do, yes.
Have you seen that they have a new espresso machine coming for the home market?
I saw.
Well, we have their head of product design coming on the pod next week to run us through all things Fellow. We're looking at the new espresso machine, and let me tell you, this thing looks like a doozy. I don't know how they did it for the price that it's at. It looks insane, but we're going to find out how
Lift
they did
the
it for the
hood.
price.
Lift
We're gonna
the hood.
There's lots of change. It's what I'm excited about is it feels like they're inventing new machines now for home espresso rather than just trying to be like, what did we have at a cafe and how can we shrink it down and do it? It's like really reevaluating the whole process of how it should be made. So we're going to chat to them. We're going to find out more. We'll ask them all the hard questions and the easy ones. Ben, thank you so much for being with me here today.
Oh, my pleasure,
It was
Ron.
lovely as always. You brought in some wonderful different coffees to try. A little cherry fermented something?
Very infused,
infused,
Indonesian
not
coffee.
fermented.
Yeah. So it was good. It was
It was
good.
that, you know what was good? It wasn't too hard on the cherry. It was like, it was
Nicely
quite
integrated.
relaxed. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is what I think we need to do when we're looking at those kind of infused coffees. All right, guys, you know where to reach us. It's hello@itsjustcoffeepod.com. You can hit us on the socials at itsjustcoffee.podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Ben has not heard from you, so he would love to hear from
Please
you.
reach out.
Send in the messages, any hot takes that you have. And hopefully we're going to see a bunch of you at the coffee weekend because I'm excited to taste some bloody great coffees.
And do some booth hopping, some roaster hopping.
Ben, there was that thing you were telling me before the show. What was it again that you wanted to say?
That I think that filter coffee at the coffee weekend is probably going to taste better than any filter coffee the rest of the year.
That's
I
right.
think
That's
what
what you were telling me. That's what
it has
you
a
were
special
telling me.
mwah, mwah.
All right, see you later.
Cheers.